Please allow me to welcome you to our family to family panel put on through the Office of Parent Services here at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. We're so excited that you're taking the time out of your day to hear from our panelists today. It's going to be a great session. We're so happy that you're here. Welcome once again. My name is Julia Lozier. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an Assistant Director of Events for Enrollment Management here at the university, and I'm your MC for today's panel. So it really is my pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I just wanted to share a couple of quick housekeeping items. As you can see, you are all muted with video off, but we can see the number ticking up. We're happy that you're here. We're going to be doing some polling questions later so that you can really engage with us here and we get to hear your voice a little bit as well. And then finally, a question had already come in the chat that I wanted to confirm. Yes, this session is being recorded and it will be posted on our website later so that you can watch it again or share it with any friends or family members who might be interested but weren't able to join us live today. So without further ado, let me pause to say congratulations. We know firsthand what a complex, challenging, and maybe a little bit stressful process the college admissions journey can be. And so I want to just pause and take a moment for everybody to give yourselves a pat on the back and congratulate yourselves for making it this far in the process. This is a huge deal, and congratulations, you have a student who has been admitted to college. Not only that, to Umass Amherst, which we're so proud to represent. It is my alma mater. So perhaps we have some other alumni joining us today on the parent side, and hopefully some of your students will be future alumni joining this illustrious group. So again, congratulations. This is a big deal to have made it this far, and we want to recognize that and how much hard work and sweat and tears go into all of that. So with that, as I mentioned, we are going to launch a few poll questions to get everybody involved and learn a little bit more about who's here with us today. So I'm going to go ahead and launch those. If you haven't used this feature before, hopefully it will be really straightforward. Those polling questions should pop up on your screen. You'll be able to take a moment to answer yourself, and then we'll kind of see how those answers pan out and see who's here. So the first question is, where are you living? We have a couple different options there: in-state, out-of-state, or international. Awesome, good. I see an answer coming in, which means it's working. So I'm very glad to see that on my end. And of course, you know, some people may have a mix of different backgrounds and have lived all over the place, but just let us know where you're coming from. Where are you living right now? So far, I'm seeing a lot of in-state folks coming in, which is great. I'm an in-stater myself. I grew up in Hatfield, Massachusetts, just about 20 minutes away from UMass. One of my favorite jokes is that I like to say that UMass has always been on my horizon because you can literally see the Grad Research Tower, the library, and Southwest from River Road in Hatfield on the horizon. So yeah, answers still coming in. I'm gonna give that a moment there. I can see that so far we have around 80% in-state folks, about 20% out of state, and a small percentage of international. So right now it's changing every moment, but we've got 75 in-state, 24. I just want to let you know it's changing really quickly and I can do math. I know that, you know, 80 plus 20 plus 2 is over 100%, but that's about what we're looking at there with the percentage, which is not surprising because that's a really good mirror of our student body. We typically have around 65 to 75% in-state students, with the rest being from out of state, including international. We have around 8% of our undergraduate students are international students. And that international number on my end, what I'm looking at, has creeped up to 5%, which is amazing. So glad to have representation from literally all over the world. And then the next question is, if you are in state, where are you located? And we're looking right now around 11% from the Berkshires, 8% like me, 413 for life, Western Mass, about 12% from Central Mass, about 55% from the greater Boston area, and about 14% from Cape Cod and the islands. So again, that does go to show, although we are majority in-state here at UMass, not all of our students are local or from Western Massachusetts. It's no surprise that we have a lot of folks from the greater Boston area, just considering the population, but I always like to reassure in-state students that this is not just a commuter school where kind of things are quiet on the weekend or everybody already knows each other. Even people who are in-state are coming from all different areas and are new to Amherst and excited to kind of explore a new environment, get to know each other in that new setting. And then the next question, how excited are you that your student is accepted to UMass Amherst? And no surprise, the majority, around 70%, very excited, followed by 29% excited, 6% taking the hands-off approach, this is their choice, and 0% say no big deal. So I may be a little biased, but I agree with you. It is a big deal and definitely something to be excited about. And you're going to learn a lot more about all the reasons to be excited in our panel today. And then the last question is a great one. It gives you a lot to think about when it comes to UMass Amherst and what your student may get out of this experience. What do you think your student is most excited about when it comes to attending college and hopefully specifically UMass? So we have a lot of great options there, enrolling in a school or college with outstanding academic programs, interacting and learning from distinguished faculty and staff, continuing to develop their love for learning in a diverse educational environment, getting involved in student activities and social justice issues, achieving learning and financial goals. And then, of course, we also have the prospect of being the next change agent, which is an awesome phrase for their family, community, and nation, personal freedom, independence, leaving home and going out of state, and then, of course, making friends. So it looks like our top answers there are enrolling in the school or college with outstanding academic programs, developing their love for learning in a diverse environment, and then making friends, which is great. So we're going to hear a little bit from several panelists about either their students' experience or their direct experience in many of these different areas. So again, it's so nice to have everyone have a chance to engage and share their voice. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Thank you so much for participating in that. And just one more thanks for being here and welcome. So as I've mentioned, we are joined by an amazing lineup of panelists today. You can see their names here on the screen. As I introduce them, they're just going to wave hello. And then as we get started with the panel, you will actually get a further introduction to themselves and their student. So we'll start here with Craig Pavlik. We also are joined by Dana Wade-Smith, Jody Trotterman, Penny Nichols-Cordero, Tracy O'Neill. We have a young alum, Ariana Baranisha, from the class of 2014. We have two current students, Isha, class of 22. And we also have Emily, also from the class of 22. Don't like seeing those numbers, ladies. I'm going to be sad to see you graduate this year, but very exciting. And finally, we are joined by Rose Boulet, who is our director of the Office of Parent Services and oversees the Parent Advisory Council. All right, fantastic. Well, let's give a virtual round of applause to our panelists for all being here. We're going to hear some great input from them, sharing their experiences as UMass students or parents. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, which allows me to see all of their lovely faces. Again, thank you all panelists for being here. And let's get started by just giving a brief introduction in the same order that we waved hello. So Craig, we will start with you.
Thank you, Julia. I appreciate it. And welcome to all the families that are in the UMass in here today. Congratulations to all your students and your kids. My name again is Craig Pavlik. My daughter Carly is a freshman at UMass. She is in the Eisenberg School of Business and Management. Was very excited to get into it. We call our hometown Babylon, New York, down on Long Island. And again, welcome and thank you so much.
Sorry about that, still muted. Thank you, Craig. Let's head over to Dana.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. And again, congratulations. It's such an exciting time for your students. And we're thrilled to be a here talking to you today. My son is a biology major. He will be graduating in the year 2024. So he's excited to be at Umass. We live in the lovely, wonderful, cozy town of South Orange, New Jersey. Though none of us, neither my husband or I are from New Jersey. We're from Philadelphia. He's from Philadelphia, and I'm from Los Angeles. So welcome, everybody. It'll be great to get to know you a little bit through this panel.
Thanks, Dana. Jody?
I'm Jody Trotterman. Congratulations to all of you and your families, and good luck. It's enjoyable. It is a lot of fun. I live in Framingham, Massachusetts. My son Max is a sophomore at Eisenberg School. He is studying OIM, which I believe is Operations Information Management, which I had to learn 3 times over. Lots to do at the school. He's involved so far and loving it.
Great, thank you, Jody. And we'll, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing on my screen here. The next person we're going to pass to is Penny.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations. I know it's a very stressful time at this point as your student is continuing this journey. I'm located just north of Boston, and my son is actually a class of 2021 graduate. He graduated Honors College, the College of Humanities and Fine Arts, and the College of Social Behaviors with a double major of English and Social Thought and Social Economy and Political Thought. Yes, Jody, I have to practice that too. And a minor in education, and he's currently at Umass and the Masters of Education program. It's the 180-day program in Springfield. And in 9 months, he will have achieved his master's and his license in high school English and math.
Awesome, thank you, Penny. And Tracy.
Hi, I want to congratulate you all as well. It seems like just yesterday I was going through this with my kids. I'm from Peabody, Massachusetts, and my son is currently a junior at UMass in the Honors College, majoring in psychology. And he's involved in intramural sports and some other activities on campus. And my daughter, Caroline, graduated with Penny's son last spring, and she was in the Honors College and majored in political science, and she minored in economics and history, and she was very involved in campus. She did the campus news radio show. She was involved in the University Democrats, the debate team. And through the Honors College, they had a sophomore serve program. So she got involved in food insecurity program in the town of Amherst that she loved, and took advantage of some travel abroad studies. The Honors College had an Oxford summer program that was fabulous, that I took advantage of as well by visiting. And she went to the University College in Cork for a semester and loved that. And then she had a fabulous internship in Washington, D.C. as well. So it provided her with 4 years of unforgettable experience.
Thank you, Tracy. And now let's pass to our young alum, Ariana.
Hi, everyone. Congrats. This is so exciting. I'm Ari. I graduated in 2014 from the College of Engineering. I was a mechanical engineering major. As a student, oh man, what didn't I do? I tried to do everything and I felt like I ran out of time, but I had 2 jobs. I was college tour guide. So I worked for the visitor center and also for the Office of Student Affairs in the College of Engineering. So I worked in the dean's office, loved both my jobs on campus. Besides working, I was on the rowing team for 3 out of the 4 years. Not the club, but the actual team. And so it was a lot of time commitment. What else did I do? Society of Women Engineers. I was involved with other clubs like that one and Engineers Without Borders. So I didn't leave my engineering corner very much. I wish I had a little more looking back. However, through the Society of Women Engineers, we were sponsored to go to the national conference. And at the national conference, I was able to find an internship. So I'm originally from Connecticut. And at the Society of Women Engineers Conference, I got an internship in Pratt & Whitney in Connecticut, in my home state. And from then on, I actually got a job from that. So lots of opportunities for success here, for career success. So welcome.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Ari. All right, next, let's hear from one of our current students, Emily.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Emily. I'm a senior from Milford, Mass. I'm getting a dual degree in special education and Spanish. I'm also getting a certificate in a program in the psychology department called Developmental Disabilities and Human Services. I work as a tour guide, which is what brings me here today. I've also worked as an access assistant in disability services. I've been involved in a few clubs on campus. I was an intern at a greenhouse, a cute little conservatory right on campus. I've been able to study abroad in southern Spain. I'm a teacher assistant for the College of Education in the Department of Human Development. So I keep pretty busy around campus, but my biggest thing right now is that I'm a student teacher in a 3rd grade special education classroom. So this is our last day of February vacation, but I'll be back with my 3rd graders tomorrow, which is just the best. So thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Emily. And then last but certainly not least, we have Isha.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, and just echoing congratulations again. Really excited to have all of you come and join us for this program. My name is Isha. I'm also a senior here at Umass, and I'm originally from Sharon, Massachusetts. I'm doing a major in biomedical engineering with a minor in engineering management. So it's kind of an engineering and business program together. I'm a member of the Commonwealth Honors College, as well as a lot of the other students you heard about earlier. And I'm pretty involved with research on campus. I work in a tissue engineering lab, and then I'm also the social chair of Engineers Without Borders, which Ariana talked a little bit about earlier. I'm also a member of the South Asian Student Association, and I serve as a student panelist on the College of Engineering's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion team.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. As you can see, there's such a wide array of different things to get involved with at UMass Amherst, whether it's academic or extracurricular, amazing internship and career services opportunities. And this is definitely the kind of university where your student can really kind of make their own path and pursue their own passions, no matter what that is. So you can easily see that represented just in hearing the variety and the breadth of the different kinds of experiences that folks have had. So with that, I'd like to open it up to the first official panel question. Based on your experience, why would you advise a student or family member to choose UMass? And let's also start with Craig on this question.
Okay, so hopefully you've all come to know how special UMass is, not only from the panels here today, but doing your own research. And I think the one word that both my daughter Carly and I share in what UMass gives to everybody is the word opportunity. Opportunity in academics, opportunity in your social life, opportunity in your residential life. And that was one of the things that drew her to UMass. Babylon is a very small school district. We came from a class, her senior class was 103 students. So to go to UMass, which is 23,000 undergrads, was quite the change to her, but she loved the opportunity. And as parents, we did too. She was athletic, she played sports in high school. And so while she's not playing NCAA sports, she has joined multiple club sports throughout her first freshman year, whether it was soccer or volleyball, just things that she's been able to make friends and see people and enjoy. And then getting, of course, accepted to Eisenberg, which is, and they told us it was a school within a school when we were in your shoes. And it really is a school within a school because she's able to, her professors have been wonderful. She's been able to drill down to what she wants in business. And she's only a freshman, but she was able to take a couple, not upper level courses, but because she came out of college with some good credits in college level courses, she's been able to get involved already and in the Eisenberg School. And she really enjoys it. And she enjoys the quality of the professors, the caring of the professors. And these are the things that she has conveyed to us and me talking to her even more so in preparation for today. So as a parent, I'm very happy with what the opportunities are at UMass and are very happy that she made this choice. So again, thank you so much and we'll talk to you again. Bye.
Thank you, Craig. Dana, can you share your perspective on why you would advise a student or a family member to choose UMass Amherst?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, my son is a biology major. And one of the things that was important to my husband and I is that he not just be so singularly focused, that he have the opportunity to explore many different things. And so, well, by the way, he still hasn't listened to us. He's still very singularly focused on biology, but we know that path, and have heard many students fall off of that path as they go down the road, but he's hanging tough. So we're thrilled with that. But it was really the access to explore lots of different interests, whether they be academic interests or social or athletic interests. But we really just wanted him to have kind of a rich student life. I think the other thing that was important to us was what sort of history and what kind of diversity was present on campus. And I didn't know this, but as we were exploring schools, my mom shared some of what she knew about the history of leadership on campus, about the influence of arts in the community and in the Valley. And that ended up being really important to us as well. So while he's still exploring biology and really doing it at a very high level, he's also exploring some other things that we wanted him to explore. So he's gotten involved in quite a few things. He's involved in club sports. He's involved with the tennis club. He's also exploring apparently the fashion club with one of his friends. Of course, I said, the fashion club? He's never been a fashion kid. But I think they're going because they are trying to meet some women, some young women. But so that's okay with us too, as long as he stays focused. But he's really excited about being on the campus and really doing the things that we really thought were important for him to become just a really well-rounded student with a variety of experiences that he could take with him and really sort of chart his own path with. So that's why I think people should be at UMass and certainly consider UMass.
Thank you so much, Jana. Nothing wrong with meeting a fashionable young woman.
Well,
Absolutely
you
not.
know, apparently, who knew that was on his agenda?
Jody, can you share your perspective on this question as well?
Of course I can. I'm going to echo a little bit of Craig and Dana. The opportunities are endless, academically and socially. I've got a kid who would kill me if anyone knew this, but he is shy. He's a musician. It was, well, why not go to Berkeley? He wanted to study business. And here's the truth. My husband and I went to UMass. We loved it. My brother-in-law went there, loved it. My nephew, same thing. We said, why don't you look at UMass if you want to study business? Eisenberg is one of the top business schools. He said, great. Looked at some others. They were all, I mean, they're all wonderful. But what we liked for him, and more importantly, what Max liked for himself, was if he decided at any point he didn't want business, there's so much else that's there. So he will be looking to a double major. He liked that there is Greek life. He's in a fraternity. And the brotherhood is so much different from when we went. It's good. It's really different. It's helped him a lot socially. And then networking, I didn't realize how good that would be for them at this age, but you know, there's an internship that could be lined up this summer through that, which we thought was really great. Other extracurricular things he does, he's not real social. He just play guitar, but for any club that you're interested in, the school has everything. If it doesn't exist, you can make it. You know, he's found people to jam with that, like 70s, 80s rock and roll. Not many kids these days like that. So, but he's found his people, and that's what he liked. We liked for him, but we definitely, you know, he made the decision. That's it. We love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jody. Excuse my dog in the background there. Ariana, can we hear your perspective from the young alumni standpoint?
Sure thing. So I loved my time at UMass, and I was able to create small communities within such a large state university, and also take advantage of all the benefits that come along with being part of a large state school. And I know for the students that may be coming from smaller high schools, it can be intimidating, can be overwhelming. And it can be easier to get lost in such a big school. But from my experience, like the parents have said, UMass has so much to offer, all these opportunities, from really unique student clubs to creating your own unique student club if you can't find a club for you, to undergraduate research or becoming a tour guide or any sort of a job. There are so many things you can do that it's easy to find a thing you care about and become involved to help you stay engaged. And becoming engaged with the community, creating these close bonds, these are the friendships. I'm 7-8 years out of school, and just this weekend I saw 10 of my friends from college who were celebrating somebody's birthday. And that's just the type of bond that you keep. And I traveled to Boston for this, right? I'm in Connecticut. My friends are 2 hours away, but because we stay in touch and we went through these experiences and we really care about each other, you're able to still foster these bonds later into life. And it also really helps with networking, right? Like, oh, my friends are like, oh, I know a friend that is doing this thing. So it's great.
Awesome. Thank you, Ari. Isha, why would you advise someone that you knew to choose UMass Amherst?
Sure. So I think it's pretty similar along the veins of what a lot of other people had said, but kind of finding that balance between getting a small community with all the resources of a big school, something that I thought was really important when I chose UMass. In particular, I think it's important that you've heard about everybody having different majors, all the different involvement of all the students. No two students will have the same path at UMass, but you can kind of tailor it to whatever it is that you want. So whether you want to do a +1, you want to join this type of club, that type of club, you want an internship, you want to do field work in the school like Emily talked about, like anything you want to do, you can do it. And I think that lets you have such a small and unique experience while knowing that you can change paths at any time and the option is still always there.
Thank you, Isha. And Emily, can you wrap us up on this question?
Yeah, absolutely. I would echo what everyone said, and UMass was my number one choice because of the academic opportunity, and I wanted to go to a big school. But something also that I don't think we've touched upon really yet is that it was the best financial option for me by far, and that made me feel really good coming into school as someone who's paying for college on their own and anticipating going to grad school. I think there are a billion reasons I chose UMass and chose to stay here and love it here, but that is one particular component that made me feel really confident in my decision. And I know that's true for a lot of people in state as well as people out of state. I know UMass provides pretty generous financial aid, and so I'd really keep that in mind when you're making your choice, because it's something that I've been really pleased with that aspect of my decision as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your input on that first question. Before we move on to the second question, I did want to note that there are some great questions coming in through the chat. Due to the format of this panel and wanting to keep on schedule, we're not able to add additional questions to the panel that we're going to ask out loud. We've prepared some great questions. Some of the questions I can see that folks are able to add their answers in the chat, and that's wonderful. But I also wanted to just let everyone know that we won't be officially adding additional questions to the panel. However, we are going to end today by sharing some contact information. This is definitely not your only chance to get questions answered or to connect with these folks. So we'll make sure that you have ways to stay in touch and continue to ask questions. And some of them we may be able to answer in the chat directly, but if not, we'll definitely provide a way for you to get those answers as we go along. So just wanted to mention that. Thank you so much. And the next question is, how has your students' experience at UMass been thus far, or how was it? And we'll start with Penny.
Thank you. And I'll try to answer some of the questions in the chat through this. So this was one of the primary reasons that he chose UMass is a former alum actually touched base with him and emphasized with him the opportunities and the experiences. So through that, he got involved slowly, which I was surprised. So his first semester, he just took his time, attended clubs, activities, social, theater, etc. By the end of his first semester, he was very active as a senator for the student government. Um, he participated in the alternate spring program, so community service, which is during March break. During the summer, he stayed on campus and was a teacher for the Upward Bound program for high school, college, preparatory. So you're kind of seeing that theme there. What you're probably getting the hint is that he didn't come home, and that is correct. He did not come home. UMass was his home. And there were so many different things to do socially as well as professionally. And he continued. His internship was even tied to UMass through his involvement with Phenom, which is the public higher education, as well as SEPA, which he was the communication coordinator. So it was, for me as a parent, it was almost like cutting the umbilical cord faster than I had anticipated. But it was good. He was experiencing it all across the board. It definitely is. I think Julia mentioned it's not a commuter school. It definitely is not a commuter school. There's a lot, not only within the UMass campus, but UMass is part of the broader town of Amherst, et cetera, the whole Pioneer Valley, lots of opportunities within that. And I think I got the real sense of that he had found his home. I think, Ariana, you mentioned it being communities. When the first family weekend, and I volunteered, and you will have an opportunity to volunteer as well. He arrived with 4 of his friends that he had just met, and they had their parents. They introduced us, and they said to us, okay, go have fun. We're headed out to the improv comedy show. We'll see you later. You can have your play date. Talk about turning the tables. All right. So it was very, throughout. I think the other thing that I haven't heard anybody mention is the academic advising. I just went through double major, 2 colleges, the master's program, et cetera. The academic advising is there. The one thing to emphasize is that there's a plethora of opportunities out there, but also of support services. It's there. Encourage them to reach out for those support services. The advisors do work very closely. Somebody was asking about his choice to get his master's in education. He didn't do his student teaching during his undergrad, like Emily was outlining. This is another example of there's multiple paths to get to where you want. And so the program that he's in, he's actually student teaching and getting his master's at the same time. So at the end of the 9 months, he will have his master's, the student teaching, and the license all at once. It is intense, but that is an example of the path. And obviously, with 3 different advisors, you have one in the honors and the each of the colleges, they have to work together. And I was nervous that it's a large university. I will share with you that when they go through new student orientation, they do meet and they do try to, help them with their first couple of courses, try to merge it all together. I was very impressed that a week after he had chosen his courses, one of the advisors called him and said, I would recommend, I'm looking at how it all laid out. Once you laid it all out, I would recommend that you take this honors course so that you can be in that community from the get-go and start to know people. Now, it did mean that he had to take an 8 a.m. course that he wasn't necessarily thrilled about, but, I think people are always, I know I was concerned that it's so large, will he get lost, in this big ocean? And they don't. So there are ups and downs. It does require initiative on their side. And sometimes you don't get the courses that you want and whatnot, but it works out. It really works out. They feel in control. And I think that's the big thing for me in terms of my experience. I felt that he had the support. There's so many with the Writing Center, the LRC, and the advising, but also the balance with the social. And I think Isha said it too, there's multiple paths to get to where you want. It's not a straight line. And that can be hard because they're used to, in high school, here's your path and that's it. But that's the beauty of it in reality, because it sets you up for life. So
Thank you
that's
so
my
much.
experience.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Penny. That's really helpful. Tracy, we'd love to hear from you as well about how your students' experiences have been at UMass.
All right, so my son is loving every minute, and he's getting back into the swing with the COVID hiccup, and so he's nothing but thrilled to be there, and he's having a great experience, and slowly getting back into the swing of it. My daughter, she loved every minute of her time at UMass. Western Mass is absolutely beautiful. Amherst is a fabulous college town, and UMass is such a great place, because she reiterated to me this morning when I was asking her about it, that she could feel comfortable going there. She was really into political science, but if she decided to change her path, she was comfortable going there because every major is great and would provide you opportunities. Now, she ended up being very passionate, and she loved all of her professors in political science, but she also loved economics. So she minored in economics. She also loved history. So then she picked up a minor in history. So she just kept adding and could flourish in multiple ways through going to UMass. So it really gave her, the world is your oyster. And so it really provided her with just the best. Peer mentor was another thing in her freshman year. She had a peer mentor, and every freshman does for their freshman year, who really was so hands-on and would help 24/7. So she was so that was another great opportunity that UMass gave her. The Oxford summer program that she went to was a great thing that UMass provided her. But I will say also, regarding financial aid, they also offer, she got a grant that provided her with money because she wasn't going to be able to work for that summer. So she got a grant to go to this program at Oxford that helped offset the cost of it. And then internship opportunities are boundless, and a lot of them are very lucrative and pay very well and set you up for a great future. Caroline decided to take one that was a good opportunity experience-wise, but also was unpaid. She also got a grant for that summer program through UMass that paid her so to offset the fact that she wasn't going to be making money for that summer. So that was another opportunity that UMass gave her that provided her the ability to take this fabulous opportunity in DC. The research opportunities on campus are phenomenal. Their career center is huge. And I will say another thing that somebody touched upon, the alumni network is second to none. She went her senior year and met with them, and she set up over 30 interviews with different people in the alumni network that were political science graduates. And they were so generous with their time and advice. And she'll never forget all the wonderful conversations that she had with the folks in this alumni network. So that's another thing that UMass that she'll never forget. And they have it for every major. So that was a really wonderful thing. And then one thing, because I have a graduate that graduated last spring. Now, looking at her and her friends, you couldn't ask for anything more. So Caroline was in political science. She got this awesome internship at the Carmen Group in Washington, D.C. They gave her a glowing recommendation. She was one of 4 kids in the United States to get this internship in DC. Through that recommendation from the Carmen Group, she got her dream job that she absolutely loves. Her roommates were all in the Eisenberg School. They all got wonderful internships that were very lucrative during college. They all got job offers from their internships that they had and are all doing fabulous. Her boyfriend was a pre-med student. He's been accepted to 7 wonderful med schools in the United States and is finalizing his decision right now. her boyfriend's roommate was in the architecture program. He's now in the UMass Graduate School of Architecture. He's working for a great firm in Western Mass and getting a great education in the architecture program. So lots of great things and lots of great opportunities for these kids. And I could be nothing but happy for them all. So, and I'm very grateful to UMass.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy. And I'd like to hear from the students as well, a little bit about how your own experience at UMass has been. And we'll start with Isha and then head to Emily. I do need to step away from the computer for 30 seconds. So take it away, Isha. I'll be right back. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Jules. So yeah, my own experience kind of ties back to what we talked about, that you can kind of create whatever path it is that you want, which I think you've heard a lot about already, very common theme throughout the day. But I know I came in as an engineering major. I was a little bit undecided as to if that was something I wanted to pursue or not. A lot of my friends were business majors my freshman year, so that was something that I thought maybe would be interesting. I had never considered that before. So I was actually able to pick up my engineering management minor, which was already in the existing program through the college, which was kind of nice. It's not something I thought I would have the opportunity to do. Study abroad, I wasn't able to kind of fit that into my schedule as nicely as I wanted to at the time, especially with COVID kind of cutting a year out. But through my club, Engineers Without Borders, we're actually traveling to Ghana this summer to implement one of the water sanitation systems that we're planning. So that was also another really exciting opportunity I got to do. I love research. I got to participate in that. I'm pretty heavily involved with my thesis now, which I mentioned in the chat, but I was also interested in something a little more social. You know, lab work tends to be a little bit isolated. You're in the lab a lot. So I became a college tour guide, and now I get to talk with families and students like you every single week. So basically any aspect that I wanted to fit into my college career kind of fit seamlessly into my program. Their opportunity was there. I will say we're talking a lot about big school, small school. At a big school, it might not be as neatly laid out. You're not going to get handheld as much to kind of find these opportunities. But I think learning to find your own way through that does make you a much better self-advocate in the long run. And I think especially now that I'm graduating this year, I do feel like kind of crafting my own path has prepared me for what I want to do after this and given me that confidence that I am able to find that. So I think just being in a big school like UMass was a different experience that really prepared me and gave me exactly what I wanted in college.
All right, and I can jump in next. I think I'm just going to echo a lot of the themes that everybody has shared so far. I think one major thing for me was being able to come to UMass and pursue things that I had always dreamed of. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and so I was able to do that here. As I talked about a little bit in the chat, I was able to get a lot of experience in a classroom within my undergrad in different grade levels, see what I like. I also pursued Spanish. I'm a double major, which has turned into a dual degree in Spanish, and I think my Spanish high school teachers would laugh if they heard that, because I was never, the best Spanish student in high school, but I came to UMass. I took one Spanish class because it was required of me, and I loved it. Something absolutely clicked for me. I really connected with the professor. My roommate is a native Spanish speaker, so being able to kind of chit chat with her and practice my Spanish outside of a classroom just really lit a fire under me. And I discovered that I love learning languages and I love traveling. And on one random weekday, I was actually sitting in a math class. I said, I think I'm going to declare a Spanish double major. And I sent one email and filled out one Google form. And within about 5 minutes, I was a Spanish double major. And then I thought, what did I just do? But I met with an advisor the following week, and she pointed me in the direction of study abroad, which I did mention a little bit in the chat, but that is the best decision I've made probably in my entire life. I was in southern Spain. I did a full immersion program. I took classes in a school in the Sierra Nevada that was half academics and half a flamenco school. Again, I can't really believe I did that. But my Spanish grew so much in just a short time. And it's expanded my opportunities for the future. So I'll graduate in a couple months with my Massachusetts teaching license, which I'm really proud of. I worked really hard for that. But I also have opportunities and offers to go teach abroad. And those are things that 4 or 5 years ago, I never would have imagined for myself, but it absolutely encapsulates the things that I am passionate about, the things that excite me. And so I'm grateful for a big school like UMass that's opened those doors. I got a little bit caught up in what I was saying there. I feel really excited about UMass and a little bit emotional to be graduating, but I would even say this off the clock. I'm a huge UMass fan and advocate, and I think that there's really a spot for everyone here. So I'll pass it back to Jules.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Emily and Isha and everybody for sharing your perspective. Very much appreciated. And I totally agree. I'm a big UMass fan. I have the license plate, I got the bumper sticker, and they just can't get rid of me. So with that, I do want to sort of start to wrap up the panel. We would love to ask each of the panelists to share one quick piece of advice for the audience. So people who are right at this stage now of having a student who's been admitted to UMass and kind of making that decision. And in the interest of time, we do want to leave time for Rose Boulay, who's going to talk a little bit more about the Office of Parent Services, the overview, and also summer family orientation. So I would kindly ask the panelists if you can share your piece of advice in 1 or 2 sentences, that would be fabulous. And I'll just go ahead and call on each of you, and looking forward to hearing each of your perspectives. So Craig, we're going to start with you again.
Okay, thanks. The food, before I get on to my one piece of advice, I saw the chats and I saw Penny's thing. The food is unbelievable. I am not embarrassed to say that we make our daughter take us to the cafeterias or the dining halls to eat on campus. As to my piece of advice, just really quick, it's a pressure-filled time, so it's easy for me to say this. I put 2 into college, my son and my daughter, but when you look back at the moment later on, you got to let the process unwind itself and don't feel pressured by time. Your son and daughter's friends are all getting into college and making their decisions. My daughter made her decision the day before the deadline was, because we let her wind her way through the process. And ultimately she chose a great school. And so that's my one piece of advice. Don't pressure the kids. They gotta find their own way. So thanks.
Thank you. Dana?
Lots of advice. We're in my son is a sophomore, so we're not too far from having sat where you guys are sitting today. First, I would say, breathe. Just take a chill. It's a tense moment. I don't know if anyone is still waiting for decisions. I know sometimes the West Coast schools can be a little late, but just relax. The process is going to take care of itself. I would like to say for my son that it was his decision only, but it really wasn't. We had some things in mind that as a young man, he probably didn't have in mind, that we wanted him to just take into consideration, but you have to offer those gently and kindly so that they will, accept them. But I would say, this is a great moment, for the family and for your kids. And so, don't let the moment overwhelm you. Just, there's so much to learn. If you have any issues, this is what I learned. If I had any issues or any questions and I was like, should I reach out to the university? Should I not? Go ahead and reach out to the university. Use the resources right away that they are offering in order to make any decisions that you feel like you need to make. We did that and found people welcoming and warming and welcoming. Most importantly, our son was accepted to a wide variety of schools and decided on UMass because really the environment and not many schools have a wonderful parents community, and there's a really wonderful parents community. So just enjoy it. Know that your kid's on the right path. You're going to make a great decision and have a wonderful experience at UMass.
Thank you, Dana. How about you, Jody?
There we go. I'm all about the breathing. I've got a junior in high school, so we'll be starting this again. But yeah, we just let him steer the boat on this one. It was important for him to be the one to say, this is what I want. It's very overwhelming with all the choices some of them do have to make. But yeah, just let them do what they need to do. There's no wrong decision. If they've got options, even if it's just one school, even if UMass is the only school they applied to and got in, there's no wrong decision. It's all good and it all works out.
Thank you, Jody. How about you, Penny?
I'll pass on. what some students passed on to me when I asked them what they would say to parents. And they said two things. One is, it's our ride, just remember that. Second, though, they said to trust them. They will find their niche, they will find their path. And just remember, it's probably not the same path that you as a parent had in your experience, and that's okay. Just trust it, you know?
Thank you, Penny. Tracy, what would you add?
Well, I think that's all very great words of wisdom, and reflecting back on it, my daughter applied to a multitude of schools, big and small, all over the country. My son applied to UMass, and I wrestled with Caroline applying to all the schools and finalizing her decision, but it ended up being her decision. I didn't even know how to begin to advise her on which was best, because every school has some great options, but it ended up being such a fabulous fit. And my son applying to only UMass, I was like, well, don't you want to go look at this or that? And no, he didn't. And he was right. It was perfectly great for him. And they've both had wonderful experiences. So you just kind of have to a certain degree, let the process work out for your kids, and they'll make their own path. And UMass is a great place to make it, because there's just so many options and so many opportunities. And Penny is a wonderful resource with her Facebook group, and there's no question too big or too small from the parent side that Facebook group can't tackle. So you're in good hands.
Thank you. How about you, Ari?
Yeah, so I recently finished paying off my student loans. So as your student navigates this decision, cost is a big part of it. And one thing I wish I had done more back when I was applying to school and while I was in school is just not stopping and looking for grants and scholarships. Right after my first year, I kind of got complacent and I was like, well, all right, I'll go here. And then it was just loans. So definitely suggest looking for scholarship opportunities and don't stop until you graduate. So.
Great, thank you. This has all been wonderful advice. Isha and Emily, in the interest of time, if you'd like to share your advice in the chat, that would be fabulous. I'm going to go ahead and re-share my screen and welcome to the screen, Rose Boulet. Let me just get that going here. Thank you for your patience. And yeah, not to move too quickly, let's thank our panelists. First of all, that was amazing. I love hearing all of your perspectives and reflecting back on my own UMass experience as well. And that was just fabulous. So thank you again. I wish we could just keep talking and talking, but I want to keep us on schedule here. So again, this is Rose Boulet, our Director of the Office of Parent Services, who also oversees the Parent Advisory Council. And she's going to walk us through a bit about what that all means.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Jules, for this great presentation. As Jules said, my name is Rose Boulet. I'm the Director of the Office of Parent Services. It is an honor to be here with you today, and on behalf of the university and my office, I congratulate you on your students' admission into the university. I'd like to first thank the admissions office, particularly you, Jules, and Kate, for hosting this event and inviting advisory council members to share their experience with prospective families. We truly appreciate it, and I hope our new family members get something out of it. As I mentioned earlier, I oversee the Office of Parent Services. So at this time, I would like to give you an overview of the services by telling you what we do and how we do it. We are a small office, and our main goal is to partner with family members of undergraduate students, mainly to support student success, because we know that once your student is enrolled at the university, they are in the driver's seat like so many of the members have said already, while they will need to listen to you from time to time, they will make decisions on their own and pretty much call the shots. We expect that they will act independently and advocate for themselves independently. But we know that as family members, you will want to know what's going on in their lives and how they're doing. So we will want to partner with you to continue to support their success, just like they've done it in high school. We serve as a first point of contact for information and to share information with you. We communicate with families on a regular basis through social media and via our monthly newsletters to help families connect with university resources and staff and sometimes advisors as well. We offer Family Ready for the U in the summer and winter. Family Ready for the U is the new name for our orientation program. We also offer new Family Welcome to the U during moving day, Family Weekend in the fall, webinar series during the academic year. And also we have a wonderful website full of information. On our Facebook group, we offer a Facebook page, we offer Tuesday tips. So every Tuesday we send out a tip just to help you with the transition process and make sure that your student is maintaining good grades and following expectations, university expectations, and so forth. We also oversee the Parent Advisory Council members, which is consists of up to 30 council family members, and you've met at least 5 of them today, and you would continue to be a part of that and work with them on a regular basis. Their major role is to offer advice on services and resources that they think would be useful and beneficial to families of undergraduate students. They also volunteer with us on a regular basis at sponsored events, such as activities like this one today. Can you change it, Jules? You can learn more about the Advisory Council on our website and via the Family to Family Facebook group, which Penny mentioned earlier. And as a new family members, you can join that group once your student make a decision to attend Umass. As your student go through the transition process, as I said earlier, we will be your first point of contact for anything and everything. So feel free to contact us and Jules would put the contact information for you. If you have questions or concerns, we are happy to assist in any way that we can. Again, thank you for listening, and I look forward to attending Ready for the U this summer, which would be in June and July, should your student decides to attend this great university. Information about Ready for the U for students and families will be available soon at www.umass.edu/new students. Again, we thank you for being here, and at this time, I'll turn it over back to Jules.
Great, thank you so much, Rose. Very much appreciated. As you can see here on the screen, there's some contact information specifically for the Office of Parent Services. Feel free to take a screenshot or a quick picture. You can also find information online as well later, of course. And then I also wanted to share with you some other ways to stay connected with the admissions office. So you can see there we also have a Facebook page for admissions. There is an official UMass Facebook group for the class of 2026 as well. And then we have all our socials listed: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and for the Gen Zers out there, we do have a TikTok. So definitely check that out. And some helpful email addresses for our admission staff, specifically for our international admission staff. And then if you'd like to keep in touch with current students like Isha and Emily, feel free to email us at tours@admissions.umass.edu. That goes right to our tour tour guide group. So it's just past the hour. I want to say thank you once again to all of our audience members for taking the time today to join us and hear our family to family panel. I also very much want to thank again each and every one of our panelists for joining us and sharing your insight, experience, and advice. And thank you, of course, to Rose and to my colleague Kate for helping making this all possible. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Keep in touch, and we hope to see you and your students on campus this fall. Take care.